Hey friend, it is Brandon Gustafson with Assisted Living Investing. Excited to have you here with me on the channel today. In our video today, our live, we're going to be talking about the 4 Ps to starting an assisted living business. So excited to have you here with me to review that. Let's go ahead and pop this up on the screen so you can get down to the website, assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. We're doing our free business plan checklist again. So if you have not gotten that already, make sure you get over to the website, sign up for that, and make sure that you are subscribed to all the awesome content that we're putting out on a regular basis so that you can just make some progress. So again, that's assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. Get over there. We'll have a ticker going across the bottom here as I do the video, and also it will be in the video description. So if you are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Gustafson. I own and operate 2 assisted living facilities, and I created this channel to help people like you learn the ins and outs of investing in assisted living. So excited to have you here with me on the channel. I operate those businesses out of state. I live in Utah. One of them is in Colorado. The other is in Idaho. And so I kind of go through the process of operating those and teach people how to do that as well. I've secured over 1.5 million in SBA funding through that process. So I have a lot of experience in getting that type of funding and helping you get that funding as well. It's a lot of what I do with coaching. And I want to also announce that I'm putting the finishing touches on our accelerator course. That's going to be coming out soon here in January. So if you are not on the waiting list for that, get over to assistedlivinginvesting.net, scroll down, and there's a spot for you to get on the waiting list for the accelerator. So make sure you go and do that so you get notified right when we are releasing that. And I got some special bonuses for you as well for those of you that sign up for that waiting list. If you are new here and you're watching live, or even if you're watching the replay, type in newbie. And if you have been doing this a while, or you own your own facility, type in operator. Sorry, having a little bit of a brain fart there. But yeah, that's me. Let's get into the topic for today. We're talking about the 4 Ps to having a successful assisted living business. So the first P that we want to talk about here is place. So a lot of what you're doing, and you hear this all the time when you're in real estate, location, 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 and that is the exact case here with assisted living. When you're starting that assisted living facility, that assisted living home, senior living center, adult family home, whatever it is that you are doing, you want to have it be in a good place. And so you want to really do some research on what you're doing. You also need to figure out what type of home you're going to do. There's two big options here that you can see. Jacqueline, thanks for typing in newbie. Good to have you here live with me. If you have any questions, make sure you type them in, and I'll see what I can do to get to them here at the end of the video. So there's really kind of two ways for you to get in here and start your assisted living business. One is to do a conversion, and this is to buy a house that you can do a conversion with. And basically, you're buying a single family home, and you are going in and talking with the city zoning and planning department and figuring out what you need to do to get it rezoned or zoned properly, so that you can run the business out of that home. The other option would be to buy an existing business, which is what I did with mine. So I'm a little bit partial to it, especially as you're starting the process. I think it's a really good way for you to jump in and kind of be forced to figure things out. And also you have a lot of people there already in the house, and so it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to get to profitability a little bit more quickly, which is also really good. But those are kind of your two big ways of getting a home: converting or buying an existing facility. But you also need to really do some market research and figure out where you're going to go. There are a lot of factors that you want to take into consideration. I've talked about this in previous videos as well, but one is, where are people retiring to? You need to remember that the target market that you are going to be marketing to and that you want to talk to are the people that are like in their 50s to mid 60s, because their parents are the ones that are going to be using assisted living. And so what you kind of want to look at is, where are people retiring to? because as they get into that age group, their parents are going to be the ones that need assisted living services. And so they're probably, if they're looking to move, then they might bring their parents with them to use the assisted living. And it gives you a really good base of residents to be working off of. So you want to look at that trend. You might, if you're looking at especially going a Medicaid route, but also because healthcare is a heavily regulated industry, you might want to look at some of the politics with where you're at and see what is going to align with what you want to do. And states that are less regulated are just easier to operate in. So that's something that you might want to take consideration of. Looking at things like crime and some of those things. In the business planning guide, and I've got a link for that below as well, I give you my market research tool in there. It's a bonus, but it's something I spent a lot of time on when I was trying to figure out which areas we wanted to be investing in. And we use that tool, and it has been just like an incredible blessing for us. We've been able to find a really good spot for us to operate our business, and it helps out a lot. And so I've given that tool to you, and I will be updating it on an annual basis as well. That looks at a lot of these different trends. So if you're interested in that, make sure you get over to the business planning guide, purchase that, and then you'll get access to that awesome tool. But place is one of those things that you just want to make sure that you are taking into consideration. It's key to your success when operating your assisted living business. The next one is going to be people, and people are super important. You want to have a mentor, you want to have a partner, an administrator, those types of people that you want to be working with. They're extremely important for you to build those relationships. So here on Assisted Living Investing, I'm here as a mentor. I have my mentorship application. You can get over to the website and apply for that as well. And we can have a free discovery call and see if it's a good fit for what your goals are. And I'm also going to be putting out courses that are going to help you along your investment journey and starting your own assisted living business. So make sure you just stick around the website. It's going to have a lot of those types of resources. But if you don't use me, that's fine. Go find somebody else that kind of works with you. There's a ton of awesome people, a ton of awesome programs out there. And you might even consider purchasing multiple because then you're going to get different points of view. And there's going to be a lot of overlap because we teach a lot of the same things, myself and the others that are teaching this. But they're going to have their own little specific ways of teaching things that might resonate more with you. So something you want to be aware of as you go through that process. The next one is going to be a partner. So I partnered with my dad to purchase our facilities, and that was because I needed money, and he had the money available, the funds available. And so now we've created this partnership, and I do a lot more of the operating, and he does more of the financial stuff for us. And we have a really good partnership built in the way that we do this. But if you're starting out and you want to do this with a family member or a friend or another business associate, you want to make sure that you have a solid partner that you feel comfortable working with, and that you're going to be able to work together and build out that business and help you be successful. So having that partner is going to be key. And the next one is going to be an administrator. You watching this might be the person that wants to be the administrator, and that's great. If that's what you want to do, I think it's awesome. There's a lot of pros and cons. I've done a video on this one before of why you might want to be an administrator, and also have a video that is the day in the life of a facility administrator. So get over to the YouTube channel and you can kind of see, go to my videos, look at popular, and it's the one at the top. So it's going to help you find that one that will kind of give you an idea of what it's like to be an assisted living facility administrator and help you through that process. Now, if you are hiring somebody else out, this administrator is going to be absolutely key to your ability to run a successful assisted living business. They're going to run the day in, day out of the business. They're going to be finding the different people that are going to come into the facility. They're going to be dealing with resident families. They're going to be dealing with all of the staffing issues and making sure things are fully staffed. They're going to be buying groceries. They run the business for you. So you want to make sure that you are taking the time to find the right administrator to help you run that house, so that you can be successful and help provide a space that is safe and comfortable for your residents. So these three people are key. There's a lot of others. And in our accelerator course, I have an entire module that goes through all of the key people that you need to talk to. These three are big, but there's a lot of other key players that you want to be aware of as well as you go through the process of running and starting your own assisted living business. Next one's going to be paper, and a little bit of a stretch on the 4Ps, but paper stands for money. You need to have money for you to get started. And for that, you need the money to purchase the house, or you need it for an operating budget. I've talked a lot about this in previous videos as well, about how much it costs to start a video, not start a video, start an assisted living business. And I've got one coming out in January as well, actually, that talks a lot about this and how much money you need to get started and where that money goes to and what your largest expenses are. So I've got a lot of that content here on the channel, so make sure you're going and watching that, subscribing and liking the videos, ringing the bell so you get notified when I put this information out there, because it's going to help you out in starting your assisted living business. So just make sure that you do that. But you're going to need the money to purchase the house. You're going to need it as a down payment for whichever type of loan that you have, and that could be an SBA loan, could be a conventional loan, could be something with hard money. It could be doing some kind of a conversion as well, and having money available for the renovations there. So you're going to need that capital. You also need money for your operating budget. And something that I didn't know that I realized later on was you can actually get that through the SBA. So if you are getting an SBA loan, and before you get too far down the path, you want to talk to your lender and say, yeah, I need $1 million to operate the business, but I also want to get an extra $60,000 in operating capital. And more likely than not, especially if you have a really solid business plan, you're going to be able to get that extra operating capital. That's why business plans and doing your underwriting, which is something that I teach in the business planning guide, is super helpful, because it's going to help you just kind of get that extra operating capital, which is going to give you some extra breathing room, which I promise you absolutely need when you get started. We did not have that extra operating capital with our first facility because we didn't know what we were doing. And we got it with our second one, and it was just such a better experience, and removed all of the stress that came with operating a brand new business. And so that's something that you want to just kind of keep in mind. You need that money, you need the paper, so that you can operate this business and not feel stressed about it as you're getting things up and running. Because it can take time to get people into the house, or it could take time to get certified as a Medicaid provider if that's the route that you're going. So those are the types of things that you need that money for. It's going to help reduce the stress, and you also need it just to buy a house, or do the renovations, get a loan, whatever it is, you're going to need it. Watch some of the other videos that talk about exactly how much you need. It's going to help you out through that, understand what that looks like. And then the fourth P is your policies and procedures. And this is a big one. This is something that's extremely important for you. You cannot get a license unless you have policies and procedures in place. So it's something that you need to have so that so you know how to operate your business. It's also a requirement from the state, and you have to hit certain standards. They will tell you exactly what they are. You just have to build policies around that. For example, in Idaho, the health department has this sheet, and it's like 20 pages long, PDF, and it says, here's the thing that you need to adhere to. And it could be, so this is an example I talked about in a previous video. If somebody vomits human waste inside the facility, how do you handle cleaning that up? And so it would talk about, here's the human waste thing, and then here's the statute that it is, Idaho 12-2 or whatever one it is. And then you have to build a policy that is around that. You want to go and look at that statute with the state, understand what it is, and then you build out a policy. And it says, this is how we dispose of human waste when it's in the facility, and make sure everything is clean and make sure everything is safe for all of the residents. And so you have to write that policy that goes into it. So policies and procedures are crucial to your ability to get a license to operate your facility. So you absolutely have to have it. And you want to spend time making sure there are things that you can actually follow as well. You don't want to just have big legal speak on things, because you're going to need your administrator and all of your staff to be familiar with those policies. And when something happens and they need to go to the policy book, you want it to be easy to read and be in plain English, and say, okay, that's how I do it. That's how I clean this up. This is how I deal with this type of a situation. So having your policies and procedures in place allow you to obtain your license, and they allow you to successfully operate your business. And so they're extremely important for you to have in place. You want to spend time doing that. It's something in the accelerator course. I'm going to have some of my policies in there as well. It's not a full policy book, but I'm going to give you some of the more useful ones that I've created. And then we talk a lot about policies and procedures. So get on the waiting list for that if you have not done that already. So any questions, there's a couple of you here that are live. If you have any questions, make sure you drop those in the comments below, and I would love to chat with you. But want to just remind you about those 4 Ps. They're super important for you to have. There's place, people, paper, and policies and procedures. You need to have all 4 of them to have a successful assisted living business. You need to get those in place. You need to start operating and do the research on them as well before you get started on going down this path. You can do all of this. It's not hard. You can see there's 4 things. You get those things figured out, spend some time on it, and you'll be able to figure out, which is awesome. I'm here as a mentor to help you along that process as well. I just want to thank you for being here and remind you to get over to the website assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist to get our business planning checklist. You can get also the calculator if you just go to assistedlivinginvesting.net and you can grab that. Does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At assistedlivinginvesting.net, we're here to help you through the process, start to finish. Again, I want to thank you all for watching and hope this information was helpful. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified when we do these videos in the future, so I can help you along your investment journey. And thanks for watching.